The Ringling College Library Association presents the Town Hall Lecture Series. The latest installment features prominent Republican Karl Rove and Democrat Jim Messina. Messina heads a super PAC supporting Hillary Clinton and previously worked for President Obama. Rove was key in the election of George W. Bush and currently supports his brother Jeb for president.
It would make my lifetime if the Republicans would nominate Donald Trump. I'll do whatever I can to help. That would be true of Ted Cruz too. Have at it. Unfortunately, God does not like me enough to give us Donald Trump, and I think you'll see him continue to sink in the polls. But the one thing we've seen so far is unpredictability, and all of us, both of us, would have thought he'd been, gone by now. Donald Trump picked a very big fight with Karl about 2 months ago. I thought Karl owned him on that fight on social media. And I thought, why are you fighting with smart people like Karl Rove? He hasn't learned, and he hasn't shut up and listened to these guys and run a real campaign. And eventually that's going to hurt him.
He thought the rules didn't apply to him. So he dissed the last debate. He was bigger than that. He did not build a ground game in Iowa. I mean, here was a guy who had these large crowds. Imagine what we could have done, what anybody, I mean, we were all looking at these crowds saying, oh God, I can just see what we could do with that for organizational efforts. He didn't take advantage of that, build no ground game in there.
Snapchat is now #1 with young Americans. Snapchat didn't exist during the 2012 Obama campaign, and it's now #1. And so I think what you'll see is the platforms continue to change. But what won't change is people getting involved with leaders they believe in. And the campaigns who are able to consolidate that and have a message and a vision for this country will do really well on social media. And the ones who aren't and don't, won't.
Iowa, to some degree, is evidence, though, that social media is a tool, not an end in and of itself. The person who had the largest group of followers on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram was the guy who was expected to run away with it, who came in a surprising second, namely Donald Trump. On the Ides of March, it was a pretty bad day for Caesar. It's going to be pretty bad for a bunch of other people. If somebody wins Ohio and Florida, which are winner-take-all at a statewide level, Illinois is also winner-take-all that day, but at a congressional district level. But if someone wins Florida and Ohio, they will be the nominee. Now, it may take them a while to get there, but they will be the nominee.
I think a Bloomberg candidacy would help the Democrats because I think they're likely to nominate a right of almost an extreme right candidate. I think women Republicans and swing women would go to a Bloomberg candidacy and hurt the Republicans. But I do agree with Karl that, think about Ross Perot. Got 19% of the vote and didn't win an electoral vote. We're an electoral college country where you need 270 electoral votes, and an independent candidate is very unlikely to get to 270.
I'd like him to enter. I respect Mayor Bloomberg. I got to know him when he was the host for the Republican National Convention, but I'd like to see him enter the race because his impact would be felt basically east of the Hudson River, and it might put into play. He will not take a vote that would otherwise go for Republicans, in my opinion, given who I think the range of people we're likely to end up with. But look, he's not going to get into something for vanity. This is a very smart guy who would only enter the race if he saw a path to victory. And in America, we have institutional factors and cultural factors that mitigate against successful third-party challenges.